Hey everybody, today I got the TRX4 Bronco and F150 Pro Scale lighting kit, and I'm going to show you how to install it on your Bronco or F150. Now, this kit comes with the lighting control module, the distribution block, all the mounting pieces for both in the shell and on the chassis. Now you do pretty much have to buy this kit because the headlights and most of the lights are very specialized. Like this headlight has a circuit board with the lights and everything so that it knows what it's doing. Then there are some plain old LEDs in there. There's one, but they're also micro size, so that's going to be really hard to find. So I definitely, if you are wondering if you should or shouldn't get the kit, definitely just get the kit. It'll make it a lot easier. It even comes with some grease for your electronics box to make the grease seal on the O-ring nice and brand new again. The distribution block, the mounting for in the body, the mounting for on the chassis, and the power module. This piece here connects to the lead running off of the ESC, so this pulls power directly from the ESC into your lighting module, which is perfect if you don't want to worry about routing wires all across the chassis and underneath that battery tray. First up, we're going to mount the lighting power module to the chassis. You're going to need the lighting power module, the lighting power module mounting block, 3 screws that come with the lighting kit, and the Allen wrenches that come with your TRX4. First, you're going to take the bevel head screw and place it into the beveled hole on the mounting block. This screw sticking out the bottom then goes onto this post and twists in with the Allen wrench. Next, you're going to need your lighting power module. You'll place it on top, and looking at the Traxxas logo, the right side up, the short screw will go on the right side, and the long screw will go on the left side. The next thing is to take this little plug that usually is stuck under your ESC, but so that you can see it, I've pulled it out. Mine is dirty. If you have a new TRX4, it won't be. And you'll take the other side of the plug that is connected to your lighting power module and connect them. Next up, you'll want to take your receiver communication cable, the cable that has a single blue wire into a servo piece, and then a servo connector and a servo connector extension. The end that has this, you'll want to plug into the RX in, so you'll have to take out the rubber cover and put in the RX cable, which it will just push in and sit like that. Next, you'll want to fold your battery strap all the way over and completely take out these two screws. By doing that, you will be able to rotate your battery tray up by just a little and feed your wires underneath to the receiver box. After you feed your wires through like this, you can put your battery box back down, take your battery strap back up, After you put your battery strap back, you'll want to take off the 3 screws around the battery box cover. I mean the electronics box cover, and the 2 screws at the waterproof clamp. So now that your blue and black wire is routed under the battery box, you're going to need to put it under here, under this little ledge, to get it into the wiring box. I'm going to speed this part up because it'll probably take me a while. Alright, so now that you have all 3 wires through that hole, which was so annoying, this singular blue wire, and don't worry about plugging them in wrong, because they have that little tab on that left side there that makes it so you can only plug them in correctly. So this yellow, red, and brown wire is in channel 1. Usually it will be the same colors as all these other wires, however I upgraded with an aftermarket servo. So that only blue wire goes into channel 1. There we go. See, that piece saved me. I was putting it in the wrong way. So that only blue one drops right into channel 1. And then this one, you unplug your ESC. I just messed up the wires. So yeah, now channel 2 is right below channel 1, right there. You can just barely see it. Channel 2. So that would be this one right here. Needle nose pliers are always a good idea for this. Now this open end, channel 2, now goes in. This does not have a proprietary little piece. Or no, it does. So anyway, you always put it in right side up. And then this extra lead goes in where you just pulled that out. And now your electronics box is plenty full. There you go. Now, all you'll have to do is take your blue wire from the outside here, and like all these wires here, route it through this box to get it to fit. I'll speed this up because that's really annoying to watch. Now, once you get those wires in, make sure you don't snip the wires, but cut off the end of this included Traxxas silicone grease container, bag more like, and almost like a toaster strudel. You'll want to spread the silicone lube across this foam pad that covers the wires, because this will keep everything nice and watertight. You can go ahead and spread it out a little. And then once you do have all those wires correctly routed around, there are little spikes, so make sure you don't impale any of the wires on all those spikes. Then you'll want to just squish it down on and get your screws back in there. Now you'll need to put the lid back on your electronics box. I'm going to leave you for that because it's relatively easy, although it can be quite difficult to get all the wires in there, but I'll meet you with putting in the motor leads. Now the next part is you want to take your weird motor cable, just squish it in between. Now red and red. See this little wire? Red. And that same side over here. Same thing over here. Black needs to go to black, and black needs to go to black. And then you take this wire and plug that micro plug into that motor sensor port. Now it's time to start on the actual LEDs on the car. Now for both the Bronco and the F-150, what you'll have to do to install the front headlights is take apart the entire front. So the way you'll do that is see all of these screws, all the ones that are forward facing, you'll need to take out. And if this piece is connected to those, you'll have to take that off. Pretty much everything on the front of this, everything on that grill needs to come off in order to put in those front headlights. I'm gonna do that and then I'll be right back. Once you get the whole front end of your Bronco or F-150 torn apart, you'll notice you have these two pieces and these two screws. My screws are a little different because I had an issue with a stripped screw on this side and cannot use the Screw King lith. These clear pieces you're no longer going to be needing. That was simply for a clear cover for the stickers. Next, you're going to take your light assemblies, which consist of the circuit board, the silver piece for accentuating the light, and the clear cover. And don't worry about swapping these around the wrong way. Each side is proprietary, and you sort of need to lever it down in, get the leverage, and it clips in to give it a nice clean look. Then these covers you will be using, they go over top it again, and you can screw the screws in on both sides. Because my screw is a little longer, I need to make sure that it's not going to go too far. And I think that's about as tight as it'll get. So it's a little floppy for me, but the side with the factory screw is not. So it'll be nice and tight now, and you can go ahead and put this back in the car. Reinstalling the front grille is quite easy. You'll just need to replace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws in their respective holes. And next, you'll want to move the wires away so you can get to this tiny LED and click it into these little holes. After that, you'll want to get the 2 white connectors and making sure they are facing right side up, which looks to be this way. Connect them, and that is how your wires will be controlled. Next, to mount the distribution block, you'll need to remove these 3 screws and then place the distribution block mounting piece on to where those holes were and reinstall those 3 screws to sandwich the mounting block in place. Then, if you take your distribution block and your jumper, you'll place this jumper with the 2 solid pieces facing down into the F slot on your controller, and then the 2 pieces from your front lights will go into G and H. So the large one will go into G, and the small one will go into H, both with the solid parts down, otherwise you can damage the prongs. And then don't mount this to the block yet, because it makes it a lot more annoying to mount the rear lights. Now on to the last part of this wiring insanity. So rather than trying to explain how all these wires go together and everything, there's a lot of wires, I'm just going to tell you which lights go in which. So the cable with the letter A is the reverse lights. The cable that has the red color on it is the tail light, turn signal, brake light. And the one with the blue is the side marker lights. And each of these wires should have 2 lights on each end, and they go in there, 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 and then on the opposite side, right there, there, and there. So it's really complicated. Good luck, and now let's get this all into the distribution block. For the final step before plugging in this lighting module, oh what a journey it has been, we're going to have to plug in the taillights. A goes to A, which makes sense. At least Traxxas did not confuse us on that one. Then the red goes to C, red to red, although there is no letter. And then blue goes to D, blue to blue, although there is no letter on the blue. And now that you have everything plugged in, there is nothing that goes in B, or K, M, N, or E. You now place the distribution block right here. Get the 2 included screws, drop them down in there. Find your Allen wrench and screw those down on, and you now are done with the wiring in the body. In this rear, all this mess of wires, I'm going to go through and zip tie those up nice. In the front too, this mess of wire. And then I'll plug this in and show you how to program it to your liking. For the final part, we're almost there, programming. You're going to want to have your car connected to your remote and have your car on. Now you'll notice I have these two lights in the front. Those are on, but the headlights aren't. What's wrong? Well, I didn't wire it incorrectly. I just didn't turn it on yet. So back here on your control, there will be a button labeled mode. You hit that once and pow! All your lights come on. It's so beautiful. Hit it again for high beam, and then hit it again for off. I'm going to keep mine in running. And then there's another button, you'll notice, called signal. If you double tap that, your lights will blink. And turn signals on. I also accidentally turned on hazard lights. So if you hit it once, it's hazard lights and hazard lights off. Now since I also hit it twice, when I turn, left turn signal, right turn signal, and it stops when you turn the opposite way. So if I'm turning all the way left, that turn signal is on. Even if I go straight, it's still on. But if I go to the right a little, it turns off. All the way to the right, left. Now the awesome thing about these turn signals, Traxxas did take into the account that you're going to be on trails a lot. You're going to be just adjusting your steering. And so rather than constantly having that turn signal on, you can also just adjust and no turn signals. It's only when you go the full way that any turn signals happen. Now, you can also hit it once, and like I said, there's now caution lights, and your wiring is complete.